They say history repeats itself, and they're right, because we're going back to the beginning with a remake of the first Tomb Raider. Again. A unification of the timelines was tabled, a marriage, if you will, to mend this broken fandom. From what we know, it's, thankfully, not going to be across the Lauraverse. Rather, it'll be a little bit of core Laura, set in the timeline after LAU Laura, and with reboot Laura as a basis. It's my hope that this is, for all intents and purposes, a new Laura, and we can sum up her biography in a quick paragraph at the start of the instruction manual, in a matter of speaking. The quicker we stop bickering about continuity details, the quicker we can look forward to the future and finally play some Tomb Raider. I've got a wish list for Legacy of Atlantis. Things I want to see reimagined from the series past, and things I feel they missed out on in Anniversary, the first remake around. More so, however, I want to see the devs seize this opportunity to innovate, leading the industry instead of following, and Flying Wild Hog is just the outfit to pull this off. So, here are my hopes for Tomb Raider, The Legacy of Atlantis. Tomb Raider has both been known and criticized for its combat. The original game had dazzled with its floating camera, scoring the action with a cinematic flow as Lara flipped and rolled about, often shooting with a gun in either hand. Yet, it was ultimately less of a shooter experience and more of a platforming one, with the challenge coming from successfully hopping about the environment after having chosen the correct weapon type for the confrontation, closing or stretching the gap as tactically needed. In LAU, the combat was a bit deeper, with precision aiming and neat slow motion dodges available. The reboot trilogy was certainly the most shooter of the bunch, albeit in a stealth and cover based manner, a far cry from the backflip rocket launcher shots of old. It remains to be seen where Legacy of Atlantis will settle tonally, but considering Flying Wild Hog's pedigree of shooters, I would hope some of their expertise bleeds over into combat. While the hordes of killer robots and giant machines of Hard Reset may not quite fit the vibe of Atlantis, the crew have a talent at creating varied enemy and weapon types. The fast and furious combat of Evil West imprinted onto the cast of wolves, bears, lions, and flying mutants could be a lot of fun. Who knows, maybe we could even see Doppelganger Laura make an appearance with her own take on combat, a little like the Underworld DLC. Legacy of Atlantis is an opportunity to rewrite, or perhaps revisit, what made the series' combat so awe-inspiring in the 1990s. Vehicles weren't introduced until Tomb Raider 2. However, they have largely been absent from the reboot era. Furthermore, when Crystal Dynamics made Tomb Raider Legend, they added in a brand new take on vehicles that, while divisive, was in this fan's opinion, still pretty fun. There are plenty of spots where vehicle segments could be shoehorned into the original game. Maybe the Lost World, getting chased down by the T-Rex, Jurassic Park style, or in the cinematic sequence of Laura on the bike tailing Natla's yacht. Point is, vehicles are as core to the series' identity as Lara's dual pistols, and just because they weren't in the original or Anniversary doesn't mean they should be excluded again. Whether the game will feature levels in the same order and theme as the original, or whether they will even feature levels at all, is unknown. However, I would like to explore a few new spaces this time around. Anniversary missed what I consider another great opportunity for expansion in the Natla Corp building. They had put in some basic stealth foundations for Legend, and the opportunity to sneak into Natla's HQ 13th floor style would have been great. There are those who claim the first Tomb Raider was the only good one, and that's in part because Lara belongs in the tombs, not modern, urban, or military environments. Well, the Tomb Raider fandom is a big tent. I respectfully state that these people are wrong. Get our girl into a catsuit and let's break into some vaults. I don't exactly know what I want for the secret system in Legacy of Atlantis. I just know I don't want it to be reboot-era fetch quests. The optional dungeons introduced in Guardian of Light and subsequently adopted into the mainline are fine, but they're not really secret if there's a big hole in the wall with a giant sign that reads secret over top. I like the core era of a few well-hidden secrets with extra ammo caches, if ammo is going to be a concern and this is a more survival horror-oriented game, that is. I like the off-the-beaten-path bronze and silver collectibles in Legend and Anniversary, and the hidden gold puzzles you would not only have to solve, but find for the good reward. I even kinda like kicking pots in Underworld. Point is, let's reserve the secrets, make them puzzles, not fetch quests. So, we've got all we need for a marriage of the eras. We've got something old in the secrets, something new in the additional levels, something borrowed in Flying Wild Hog's style of combat, and something blue in her top, I guess, whatever. I'm just spitballing about how the game can sensibly evolve in a way that's innovative instead of just retreading old ground. Legacy of Atlantis is a real chance for Tomb Raider to lead in innovation, just like the original did 30 years prior. And even if they don't adopt any of the suggestions I've tabled here, I hope Flying Wild Hog still breathes life into the franchise in their own signature way.